Hi, this is an introductory video to the FLUKE multimeter. This is found at every BSc workstation and is great for debugging, but since it's only limited to 4 digits on the screen, it's presumably a little less accurate than the Keithley. You're going to want to take all your measurements on the Keithley DMM and do all your debugging work with the FLUKE multimeter. You can use the FLUKE to take different measurements for both AC and DC currents, for voltage, resistance, and current by just spinning the knob to your desired measurement. And as always, when you're making current measurements, you want to make sure that you switch the probes to the correct outputs. So for higher currents on the scale of 10 amps is fused down here, and for lower in the range of milliamps, you want to use the other terminal. You just put that in like that. So if your FLUKE isn't giving a measurement that makes sense, it's most likely that your fuse is blown. Perhaps the most unique function of the FLUKE multimeter is the continuity function, which is this setting right here, which will give an audible beep when the circuit is closed. So if I touch these two leads together, you'll hear a beeping sound, which tells the multimeter that the circuit is closed. The continuity function is very useful to see if the components on your circuit are actually connected. So once your project gets more complicated, when you have a very dense breadboard, you can easily test where each of the components are connected to, and then you'll hear a beep. So you just take the two leads, and I'm testing a simple circuit here. My resistor is connected with my blue LED, and I can test that by putting my probes on the LED and on the resistor on where I think they should be connected. And it's confirmed with a beep. And for example, if I have my circuit and it's not powering on, I can test to see why this isn't plugged on. So if I put my two probes in this obviously disconnected circuit, it won't beep when I expect that it should. And as with all discontinuity and resistance and diode measurements, you want to make sure your circuit is off, because the way that the multimeter measures and takes the measurements for those different values, it is actually only measuring current or voltage and comparing the results. So if you have your power supply on while you are measuring a live circuit, it can confuse the instrument and give you the wrong numbers. A few more useful things that you can use the continuity measurement for is to see if your fuse is blown. And even though you should be able to visibly see if the fuse is blown or not, a continuity measurement usually will give you the correct answer. So we can just measure that and see that the fuse is intact. Another useful thing you can do with the continuity measurement is if you have a braided cable. For example, if you have a more complicated final project and you want to see which part of the cable at the end leads to the other end, and you don't want to get confused with other wires that you find in the cable, a quick continuity measurement should tell you everything you need to know about where the wires lead.